Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about 5 different ways that you can plan your homeschool. Now, before we get any further, if you haven't already, I want you to hit that bell notification, turn your notifications on for my channel. I had a couple of people message me on Instagram saying that they were super confused of why we weren't living in our previous house and what was going on. And so I directed them to my life update video that I posted a couple of weeks ago. But if you turn your notifications on, you will be up to date with all that's going on. So be sure to do that. Also, if you haven't yet, subscribe to your girl. We have a lot of fun around here and I want you to be part of the fun. So if you haven't yet subscribed, would love for you to do that as well. All right, let's get to ways that you can plan your homeschool. Now, I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 main ways that I have found, not just for myself, but in watching YouTube videos, reading blog posts over the last 8 years that we've been homeschooling, and these 5 have been what the majority of people use. So I kind of filtered all of the ways to plan your homeschool into these 5 that I'm kind of considering the top 5 options. And I personally have tried most of them. So I'm going to also give you my personal opinion about each different style of planning, but keep in mind, it's my opinion. You are not me, I am not you. Our family dynamics are going to be completely different. So just keep that in mind. Take what you will from this video, do your own research, and trial and error is typically the best way to kind of just figure out what's gonna work best for you, your family dynamic, your lifestyle, and all the things that go along with homeschooling. So the very first one that I wanna share with you is online planning. We used a website called Homeschool Planet a few years ago, and I actually really liked it. I liked that you set up everything at the beginning. Once you know your curriculum you're gonna be using, you put that in to the system, and you can plan out your year at a time, your month at a time, or even your week at a time, which we did it by the week. I just type faster than I write, so I liked how quickly I could enter in all of the information. I also liked that I didn't have to, on a weekly/monthly basis, rewrite our subjects like math, science, all of that you would in a regular planner. They color code the subjects, which I also really like. And once you get to printing out your list, it automatically adds a checkbox to each assignment so that your child can simply check off that assignment when they've completed it. Now, again, I personally really liked this. The main drawback to it for me was I hated having to print multiple sheets of paper every week. I'm a budgeter most of the time. When it comes to printing and using ink, I'm definitely looking to do the least amount of possible in that area. And so I just didn't like having to print a new sheet for each child each week. And that was really the main reason why it wasn't a favorite for us. The next type of planner I want to share with you is digital planning. I personally started dabbling with digital planning at the beginning of this school year, so fall of 2021, and I instantly fell in love with it. I'm still using it for me as the homeschool mom/teacher, but my kiddos don't use a digital planner. I found a template on Etsy that I'll link down below. I looked at so many homeschool planners online through Etsy and ultimately found this one, and I really like it. Now, I am new to digital planning and all of it is like a deep hole when you really get into it. And if it's something you enjoy, you could spend, and I did, hours upon hours watching videos and learning all of the apps that you can use and the stickers that you can buy and making stickers, and it's like so much stuff, but it is fun. So if you're into digital stuff and you have an iPad with a pen, you might really be interested in digital planning. Now, my boys don't use digital planning. I use it just for myself as the teacher, and it helps me get an overall view of our week and our month. The only thing I really like to schedule out yearly are our electives. I like to change up our electives by the month. So each month we focus on something else, learning something else, learning about something else. And I like to have an overview of what we'll do for the school year in regards to that. But the really cool thing about this specific planner is not only is it a planner in the sense that you have a monthly overview and your weekly and yearly overview, but also there are a ton of other, I'm gonna call them bonuses, that come with the set that I purchased. So there is a password page, which is fantastic because we do a lot of things online, and I'm trying to get really good about having a different password for each website, which is not something that I've always done. For the longest time, I just had one password for everything. I know that's not good. So having this password page in the planner is awesome and has saved me so many headaches being able to just quickly refer to that in my planner. It also has features like family read alouds, a way to track the books that we've read, recipes. So I can also plan out my meals for dinner, which is usually the only meal that I will plan out, if you will. It's got expense tracking. I mean, it came with so much more than just homeschool planning, which was another selling point for me. And the fact that it's digital. If let's say I'm super into recording my recipes digitally. The really cool thing about using a digital planner is that you can copy and paste blank pages. So I can copy and paste as many recipe pages or password pages or just lined digital paper pages that I want, and it's all there. I don't have to purchase anything else. I can just literally copy and paste the page and have as many pages at my disposal that I want. So I think that that is a really cool feature as well. Well, shoot, let me move the sun. I can't get away from it. That seems a little better. Okay, the next way of planning that I wanna mention to you is what is known as spiral notebooks. And this is something that I believe came from Sarah McKenzie from the Read Aloud Revival. I think, don't quote me on that. But basically, it is probably the least expensive way possible if budgeting is something that you're really trying to do. And it's literally just taking a spiral notebook that you can get from any big box store and just every day writing down their assignments. And you can even add a little checkbox or whatever, checking it off and just doing it daily. You could write them down maybe every Sunday for the week, or you could literally just do it at the end of the day, write down their assignments for the upcoming day, and that's it. A lot of people really like this way of planning. One of my best friends that homeschools her 3 kids has done this for years and loves it. We tried it. I personally just didn't like having to repeatedly write down the subject names and the chapter and all the things. And so it just wasn't for me. I felt like I was wasting my time doing it, but that's just me. So we tried it. I mean, really, it doesn't take that much time. It was just, again, something that I found really repetitive and didn't enjoy doing on a daily basis. But it's very practical. And honestly, if this is maybe your first year, second year, you're new to homeschooling, I would highly recommend starting with the spiral notebook concept because number one, it's inexpensive, and number two, it kind of gives you some trial and error to see maybe how you like to plan. It's an easy way to kind of get into daily planning or weekly planning and see if that's something you like, or if you prefer monthly planning or even yearly planning, then you'll have an idea of what to transition to. So spiral notebooks wasn't for me, but it may be for you if you're looking for a way to add a little bit more structure and you don't plan at all. I would definitely recommend starting with spiral notebooking. The next way of planning that I want to share with you is purchasing an actual printed planner. Now, this is what we're using right now for the boys, and so far we are really enjoying it. My boys are both in high school, and so my goal this year and the upcoming years is to help them learn how to plan out their assignments and their days in preparation for college if that's something that they choose to do. But you know, the truth is, regardless if they go to college or not, helping them to know how to plan out their day for personal reasons, business reasons, school, whatever the case might be, once they move out of our home, that's my goal. I want to set them up for success. And so that has been one really great thing I am enjoying about using these planners. Now, keep in mind, I am not a fan of this look. These are really young looking planners for teenage boys, but it was all that I could find getting something as quickly as I wanted to at the time. So I'll probably be making our own in the near future for next school year. But anyways, this is working fantastically for us. What we've started doing is every Friday, we sit down together and we write out the upcoming week and their assignments, what they need to do. We write out our group work together, and then they're responsible for figuring out what all of their independent work and what those assignments are. And I just kind of manage that, if you will. So I'm telling them the assignments to write down for group work, and then they are responsible for writing out all of their independent work. And what I end up doing is once they're done, I briefly overlook it, make sure that they are staying on task, that they are where, roughly that they need to be, and we're good to go. And that has really been working out great for us. And then the last way of planning that I want to share with you is what we call lesson recording or reverse planning. I've heard it said both ways. And basically what that is you're not pre-planning your day, week, month, whatever the case is. Instead, at the end of the day, you are writing down what you did. Now, I do want to say I have personally not tried this method out. I like having a little bit of a plan, but not too much. I like to be flexible. But I do like to pre-plan a week ahead. And for me, remember this is just me, for me personally, just recording what we would do, I feel like we would get really behind because of the lack of a plan. Again, that's just, I know me. I know I need a little bit of structure, but I want it to be lenient. It's a beautiful balance I'm looking for. So I personally don't have experience with reverse planning. I do know that a lot of people go this route. And so again, you just have to find what works best for you and your family dynamic. So here's the deal. If you are unsure, you have never planned for your homeschool, or you're new to homeschool, or you're about to be new to homeschool, my suggestion would be start with spiral notebooking. It's inexpensive. You can get an idea of if you like to plan daily or weekly. If you find that you would prefer to plan out even further in advance, then you can look into spending a little bit more money on a printed planner or a digital planner or whatever the case might be. I do have to share this funny story with you real quick though. Our third year of homeschooling, I had read this blog post and got super inspired by it over the summer. I can't even remember where it was from or who wrote it. It's been so long ago. But basically it was this mom that plans out her entire year in advance, and she buys these plastic tubs. I say tub, it's not like a big, it's like a hanging file folder tub, those ones that you can get from like Office Depot, and it's like almost square and it'll hold hanging file folder so you can just sort through. So she had like one or two of those, maybe one for each child, I can't remember. And she would take the time to have a folder for each week, okay? And then the label, like the little plastic, I don't know what you call it, I'm calling it a label, the little plastic thing that goes on the top of a hanging file folder so you can name it, was numbered by the week. So 1 to all the way to the last week of school. And she would take all of her activity books that she was using, printed materials, I mean, anything that the kids would have to physically write, fill out, color, whatever. And over like a 2-week period, she would just sort all of that, put it in the allocated folder, and be done, and have everything ready to go, ready for each week from day 1 to the last day of school. And I read that and I was like, oh my gosh, like that, like, brilliant. I'm gonna do that. So wouldn't you know, I got on Amazon and I purchased my tubs and my file folders. I even color coordinated them for the kids. Got my little label maker. I'm telling you, like, each number of the week I made on my label maker, put it on my little label for the folders, and I spent like, yeah, it was about 2 weeks for me too, just planning it all out. Let me tell you something. That lasted about 6 days. And I was like, this is not for me. That just did not work with our family dynamics. I was like, we would get behind on one subject and then I was like sorting it through, like trying to figure out how to, because here's what would happen. If we got behind a day or two in something, then all of the papers that I already had in all the folders, I was gonna have to like move back, or we would have to double or triple an assignment one day just so that I wouldn't have to move all of those papers behind in every folder. I mean, it was not for us. It didn't work. So I was so frustrated that I had spent all that money and time and energy in doing that and it didn't work for us. And I just didn't know. I just didn't know. And that was really the first year, and this is kind of why I went that route to begin with. That was the first year that we were eclectic, meaning that we were piecing together different companies for different curriculum. Because up until then, I had used Sunlight for full box curriculum because I was new to homeschooling and I wasn't familiar with all of the curriculums that were out there and what would work for us and blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, this is brilliant. And it just wasn't for me. It was not for our family. We like to be on the go a lot. I am that friend that you can call me on Sunday and we can go catch a flight and head somewhere on Tuesday. Like, actually that literally happened to me last month. A friend of mine called me on Sunday and was like, what are you doing Thursday? Want to go to New York? I was like, sure. And I did. So we're just super on the go and we like to be flexible, and like planning out a year in advance is not our jam. So just in case you wanted to know that. All right, so those are my 5 different ways that you can plan your homeschool. There are other ways out there. Again, these are just the 5 that I find people use the most. So I wanted to share with them and hopefully they helped you. Let me know down in the comments what style you have, if you use one of these ways to plan, or if you use something else. I would love to hear about it. I would love to learn from you as well. So leave a comment down below. Remember, if you haven't already, turn your notifications on, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and you guys, I hope that you have a fantastic day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye. Subscribe. Why did I do that? I don't know why I did that. And the last way of planning that I want to share with you is what?